Alright, hello. I have come up with a new way to actually make these videos interesting for once. Like, instead of commentating over the gameplay for once, I am actually just gonna talk about actual stuff that, like, happened to me in IRL, just, just random things. Like, so basically high school, high school, yeah. At least 20% of UTPR people, 20% of UTPR's players has been there. And for the 4 years that I've been there, it was, like, quite interesting. Since I came in high school at the literal age of 11, I was mostly quite a baby compared to everyone else, and now being a 16-year-old looking back at it, I'll see like a 20-year-old, like not 20, 12-year-old and go like, why aren't you in kindergarten? Like, they look so young to me. Is it just me, or do they look like actual toddlers? Elementary school was kind of mid to me, so I really wanted to like make that good expression. So I made the move any 11-year-old would do on their first day of high school to flex and be known as a cool kid. And guess what I did? I brought along the Nintendo Switch. Like, I'm not I'm not even kidding. My very first day, like, on high school, I literally brought the Nintendo Switch with me, because, like, come on. It was oh my god, it was 2018. That was 5 years ago. Time is going way too fast for me. I can't keep up. I'm sorry. Now, I don't know if you guys ever saw an 11-year-old child walk around your high school with a Nintendo Switch, but apparently I thought it'd be really cool at the time, even though I actually, sadly, never took it out of the bag. So, cue me actually being there, like, looking at the class for the first time. This wasn't an actual school day yet, more like just a day where you meet, like a meet and look around thing, yeah, this class is that is that, like, you just look around. The first class I go to is biology, and the way they introduced that was just going like, hey, your tongue can taste things. So they made us do one of those, like, TikToks where we ate a potato chip and we had to guess what brand it was. So, or brand or flavor, whatever. So it's safe to say I almost ate half the bowl. Like, it wasn't one of those just, like, small bowls, It was, like, one of those actual, like, what do you call them? Pasta bowls, like the one where you cook the pasta in. Probably isn't the right name of what I'm thinking about. Just imagine a big bowl, okay? It was a bowl, but big. Now, after that whole thing was over, we got to talk about what we liked about the school and what could be better, etc. Like, if someone does a presentation or the teacher's like, okay, guys, give your tips and what's good and what's bad, Like, what could they do better? So, the best thing 11-year-old could think of, like, what could this school possibly do better? Like, if there's one thing, if I was the owner of the school at that point, what would I do? And I was like half serious when I wrote down more potato chips. Like, I wanted more potato chips, and I just left it at that. I wrote down, give us more potato chips, and that was it. I left the tip of give more potato chips, and it just dipped. And that was it. I was out of there for the day. Sadly, they never give the extra chips. I remember my first actual school day, I was super confused when this alarm clock sounding thing kept ringing and everyone bagged their bags, aka the class is switching. Because I was a very stupid child. I mean, you gotta at least give me some credit. Before that, I was in the school for like how long? Like 5-6 years. That had a completely different sounding bell, and each class was by the same teacher in the same room. It was the first day of high school. You gotta give me credit. Like, it's different. It gets different. First year was kind of like on my own. Like, it was just me. I didn't really get like any besties or best friends that I was like vibing with, Like, due to me living away further and not being as social, like, with my classmates, I never really had that much contact outside of school, apart from like the class group chat. And let me tell you, they said some like, it's not like the most normal group chat. Like, they were kind of savage and somewhat inappropriate, and I was still 11 at the time, so I kind of wanted to stay away as far as I could from that hellhole. So at some point, like during the first year, I started learning the people and stuff, and I made my rank from lonely child to class clown. Like, I became the meme of the class, and people started to call me a legend. I know that sounds like something like, "Ooh, I made that up. I'm so cool, guys. I did this, and people all love me." But like, no, it's the type of legend like when you see like the Mihe kid hacker Oho meme like. We don't insult him, like, when you see him, we go like, oh my god, it's the man, the myth, the legend, Hacker Oho from Oho Tale. Yeah, like, we don't actually bully him, it's just all in good fun. So year 2 was kind of different, like, a bit before halfway though, around halfway year 2, I got sent to a different class. Like, permanently. Like, just completely different people, and this may have slightly traumatized 12-year-old me, since I lost all the contact from the very few people I actually could somewhat interact with. As much as I hate to say, I went through a bit of a, like, emo arc, like any average 12-year-old. I would literally walk through walls trying to stare dead ahead as hard as I could to make it look like I had that soulless stare, because, it's 12-year-old me being edgy, because, oh, I lost all my friends for something that's not my fault. So, like, the second class I was in, it did end up having, like, let's just say they had a lot more personality, because, like, okay, let me just, there was this girl, like, let's call her Alicia, because I'm not gonna give, like, actual names for the video. Like, she was kind of like the bratty girl, but only to the teachers, and the way she executed it was so perfect. Like, oh my, she would find a way to find a war with every single teacher. Every time she rebelled, it was the funniest thing ever. She somehow found a way to dominate the teacher in, like, every single argument. Oh my god, Frisk is balanced. What was I saying? Dominate every teacher in an argument by purely just being toxic. Like, due to how much she behaved during class, the teacher always would send her outside or give him, like, some form of punishment, but she made sure to give her voice and opinion. She made sure her voice and opinion were heard, alright? Like, she would not shut up about it. She never left to go to the principal without the class being absolutely in tears and dying of laughter. So let's not forget the time she got in a fight with a classmate either, because she, oh, this beast, like, she did not hold back on, like, being savage at all. Like, if there was anyone who actually brought, like, some form of comedy and made the class anything interesting, like, this, like, I will remember this person as one of the people that wasn't just a background character. Like, this is, like, she was, like, a genuine meme to me at this point. She was also, like, part of a friend group in the class of another girl and a random boy, but those who are like less relevant to the point, and, like, it's more like, yeah, a filler material, Girl number 2, we'll call, Jamie. Now, Jamie was also more the quiet kid, but not like a meme or a clown like me. Like, she was the definition of background filler. Okay, I'm sorry if I sound rude, but, like, okay. She was known to, like, but she was known to easily cry. Like, there was this one time she lost her eraser in class and made a whole scene about it for some reason. Now, by the way she was acting, like, anyone with more than 2 brain cells could figure out that Jamie, after a few weeks, had a crush on me. Even 12-year-old me somehow figured that out. And in my years of high school, I got asked out a total of 3 times. But beside most girls in my class being a skill issue, there was another problem. I'm gay. Now, up until this day, no one knew whether that be a good or bad thing, because it honestly would have maybe helped keeping all the girls off me if I was more open about it. Thankfully, that specific person, like, never really asked me out. So I just realized I was gonna talk about a rule here. Like, there's also a rule, like, my school has this rule. Like, you know how you have phones, like, the phones, the rectangular objects every single person's got an addiction to? Yeah, those. You don't hear. Like, if they ever see you with that thing in your hand, even if your baby brother just got born and you're getting a call, it gets taken until 5 PM. Like, if you got that taken away, you had to wait till 5 PM. Not earlier, not later, like, yeah. Even if, like, the school days back then, let me tell you, were up until, like, 3 p.m., right? Like you had to wait 2 hours if they ever like took your phone. It was a really stupid rule. I don't know why they did that. Will actually do, because like the entire reason is like they wanted us to socialize more. So like it was enough to like scare the little kids to keep their phones in the lockers. So you'd say like, oh, it's actually good for them to like not take the phones because it helps on concentration and keeping them focused on their schoolwork and all that stuff. You know, like at least like the reason they only get to use it during the wrong. No. Even if you had it out during a break, it got taken. Like even during lunchtime, they would still take it. Like, oh, why did I charge? Oh my god, hold on. Okay, I should not have charged there. It was clear these boomer school rule enforcers, like, they didn't know anything about how the new generation is. Like, you see, my boyfriend and I, all my other actual friends aren't in the same school as me, which means I actually have to contact them with my phone. So I came up with the ultimate isolation plan, the school bathroom. Now, my school bathrooms weren't really the best. In fact, they were so dirty that they ended up in the news for how dirty the bathrooms were. I'm not even kidding. Like, I can't show it, but the amount of, like, they got 500,000 views. I'm not even kidding. That may sound unbelievable, but it got on the news for how dirty the bathrooms were, and it got 500,000 views. And that's the amount of total views I have on this channel. Like, my school just being on the news. Now, like, they came up with a new rule. First, they locked every single bathroom but one. Like, only one bathroom they kept unlocked. I guess it was to just keep more surveillance on the kids and stuff. But that bathroom only had 4 stalls and 4 urinals. And the second of all, oh my god, hello? Thanks, game. Second, we were only allowed in the bathroom during lunch. Like, if you had to go to the bathroom during, like, a class, it was like, no, you don't get to. You have to wait until lunch. Now, since this only happened in the boys' bathroom, like, the bathrooms being dirty, this rule only was for boys. But they were yeah, that's stupid. But they were already, like, super, like, loose on letting the girls go, too. Like, I'd be there. Me. A child who has done absolutely nothing to cause the absolute violation of what we were supposed to call a bathroom. About to piss myself in class, while a random girl goes like, "Hey, teach, can we go get some water and also go, like, walk 3 hours around the school because I need to let out energy, sis?" And the teacher would just let them. Now, on one side, I can see why girls around that specific age should be allowed to go to the bathroom more frequently, but come on, this was just, like, so unfair sometimes. They would go in literal gangs, where they were, like, all attending some secret cult club meeting of the women. I still don't understand why they do this to this day. So, like, I now accept it at this point that, all my time in the during lunch, which is gonna be spent in the bathroom stall all by myself. And I was actually kind of fine with that, but as you know, this school is just not... This school is not alright. Like, every time I was there would always be a group of kids, like, almost every single time. Someone would just go be like, "Are you pooping?" Woo! And I'd be there thinking, like... And I thought 11-year-old was immature. But, like, these kids that were taunting me brought it to another level of immature. So, like, it began to slightly escalate them to sometimes throwing water over the door onto me and kicking the door, screaming, anything you'd expect a 6-year-old to do, basically. Thankfully, they never got worse than that, but they made sure as hell to not just do it once. Now, here comes the main antagonist of the Die Hard High School anime. The janitor. I don't know who scheduled what should be cleaned at one time, but these women always made sure to come in during break time, you know? The one time the students get to use the bathroom. That's when the woman found the need to just go there. Like, because that was a good idea to clean it at that specific time. It, like, well, it was still being used. It's very weird. Since I'm actually a sane person, I always, like, did go out of the stall to, like, you know, let them clean the stall. Because, like, it's their job. Come on, it's quite literally their job. But everyone, like, everyone thinking back at it now, everyone probably thought I had, like, some insane sharding condition, because, like, I was in there for, like, the entire lunch period. Well, in reality, I was just using the isolation technique to be able to use my phone. So I want you to know that this, like, even though I'm only gonna say this once, this went on for the entirety of the 3 years. Just me not socializing and just sitting in there alone. Like, just sitting in the bathroom stalls. That being the only way I could contact, like, my friends, because that was the only place I could use my phone. And how did that hit me? I dodged that. But besides that, like, nothing much happened that year. But there was this one time where the special needs kid was publicly enjoying himself in the hallways once, but like we most of the time don't really talk about that incident. Anyways, the few years, like the few next years, yeah, they were something, alright. Like that's the year. If it's any year, it's the fourth or third year that I can remember the most embarrassing things like out of. During year 3 and 4, I got asked out thrice, but they were all just like mostly boring and awkward as heck. There's nothing special about it. They were just really awkward scenarios of like, hey, I like you, and I'm like, oh, but I'm sorry, but like, no. And that's really all it turned into. So one of the times I did actually get asked out in class was when, like, you're the actual diehard. No. Anyway, the one time I actually did get asked out in class was, I remember, like, it was, like, the one time I can't speak. It was in the middle of class, and, like, the girl, like, she wrote it, like, on a paper for some reason, and, like, they had, oh my god, can they please fix that bug? Anyway, they, like, wrote it on a paper, and they had the whole class pass the paper from, like, the one side of the class to me, and of course, they all knew what was happening. And the moment I took the paper, everyone was looking at me, and I'm like, okay, how do I have to deliver this to the whole class in, like, the most normal way? Like, what would you do if a random girl pass you a paper in class asking you out while you're gay? Like, it was awkward. Another time during Dutch class, we had to write essays on a specific thing, and like after you finished your essay, you had to, you know, give it to someone else, and they would like look at the essay and they'd be like, oh, this essay is good, and what I am throwing this match so hard right now. What am I doing? Anyway, you had to look at the essay, right? And you'd have to like grade it. Like there was this whole like paper, like, oh, you have to grade on this, you have to grade on that. So we basically had to rate each other's essays. So the essay I got to rate. I am not playing well today. Anyway, the essay that I did have to rate, it was like from a girl, right? Like just a girl's essay. It was just a name of one person in my class. And I was like, okay, this is fine. I'm just gonna rate the essay, you know, and I'm just gonna give it back, you know? Like there's nothing wrong with that. So after we rated each other's essays and all that stuff, we were supposed to go to the computer lab. So like the person that I had rated was already in the computer lab, so I just had to walk over there and give them the essay, and then just get to work on my own thing in the computer lab. So I arrived there, and like I have the essay in hand. Can the 3? Please, why is that still a bug? Anyway, I get to the computer lab, right? And there's this, like, I see the girl standing there, like, okay. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give it to her, and just, so, like, I walk up to her, like, fully confident, like, hey, here's your, essay that I graded. There's this and that about it, and yeah, that's that. So, like, it turns out that I got the names mixed up. Like, I literally gave it to the wrong girl, and it wasn't like on accident. Well, like, it wasn't like on accident, but like I genuinely thought that's who the name belonged to, and I think that's really the worst part. It really says something about my socialization. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, I gave it to the wrong person, but I know your and then that name. No, I was fully convinced that that girl was named that. So like she took the paper and was like, "What is this?" And then brought it back to like the other like her friend group, and like they all just like gave me this stare like, how like you've been in our class for years now, and like bruh. So another time in art class, like for we had to take like selfies, and what you do is cut the paper in half, right? And then on the other side you draw yourself. And so I was like taking my own selfies at the time, and I was like looking at it, and I was like, I guess I wasn't looking the best at the time, because I looked up from that and said to myself, God, that looks terrible. Like, I said that to myself when looking at my selfies on the phone. And then I look up from my phone, and this girl in front of me just stopped with her drawing and looked at me, absolutely mortified. At that point, I knew that she thought I just insulted the hell out of her drawing, despite it being a masterpiece, because every single girl was like, Leonardo da Vinci or something. I don't know why. They just are. So I tried to tell her that I meant my phone. But that was the first time I genuinely like stuttered and got stuck in my words so hard. Like you just could not make out what I was saying. My whole brain was going crazy. I looked like the most shy beta male motherfucker, stuttering the hell out of my words as if I was a nerd with no social skills confessing to a crush. So after I finished my non-tangible muttering, she just asked if I wanted to take the pictures instead of me taking a selfie. So, so at least it went the right way. My head was still absolutely blue screening, like it had tried to reboot itself 4 times by now, and it was about to lose all power. And I was just like, okay, sure. So I'm pretty sure everyone thought I was the most antisocial idiot trying to rizz up a random girl by asking her to take a picture of me, and I don't know if that's better or worse than accidentally calling a drawing absolutely terrible. Apparently we like became friends or something, because while I was in the car with my mom, she waved at me and my mom immediately went like, "Ooh, who's that? Do you know?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's just in my class. And she also told me, like, one time she told me, like, have a good day, but I sometimes, on accident, speak a little bit too quiet. I, like, mutter, like, you too to her sometimes, and, like, apparently, I sometimes question if I actually say, like, so quietly that, you just don't hear it, and I just look like the worst person ever. So anyway, as expected, that girl actually did end up confessing to me, and it was another one of the 3 very awkward scenarios. Thankfully, I didn't like have to mention the whole gay part to anyone. It's like, thankfully, I didn't really feel like doing that, but yeah, a lot of embarrassing things happened. So if you guys here, you heard it from me first. Like, if you want to get a girl's attention, you just have to accidentally call their drawings terrible, and they'll just go like, yeah, do you want me to take a picture of you? And they'll be like, yeah, and they'll look at it and they'll be like, oh my god, this is the most handsome man. Not really, but like that, but it just worked for me for some reason. And now I'm gonna finish this man off. Not even gonna use 3 anymore, because I know it's gonna miss because of that bug. I'm probably gonna make a video on that too if it's not fixed soon. Anyway, yeah, can you, like, GG? Yeah, you're dead. Anyway, I also found this part genuinely funny enough that I let it in, so yeah, congrats.
Bro, please, bro. Please, bro. Please, bro. Please. Please. Please, bro. Please, bro.